Wow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ravi Kumar, father of two loving children, husband to a superwoman, highly in demand. And it was requested by so many people of mine, so many friends of mine as well, so many parents also. That, sir, why don't you come up with a session which totally and entirely talks and gives the insights of parenting? And that is the only mission of mine, that through my such videos I can inspire people, I can transform a parent into a successful parents, and that is all about my mission today. Gentlemen, as we know that children are not adverse to advice. Children are not averse to advice. It is to the way in which advice is given that they are averse. Try and understand this thing. You cannot say that my son and daughter doesn't listen to me. This is all. He or she doesn't listen to you because you don't know how to make them listen. Gentlemen, till the time you are having your own glass of your personal experiences, you can, your force can make everything possible in this world, right? But it cannot create a single drop of love in child's heart. I firmly believe that whatever ways you have been doing, the technique which you have been applying so far, they are not working because of your simple thing. Because I know for the fact that you don't know how to understand your child. I know for the fact that you don't know how to handle the situation. And that is only the reason, that is only the main possible reason of not being able to understand your own child. So in today's session, I'll be talking about the same stuff of yesterday, like you know power of involvement, why you are supposed to show your involvement, and this is definitely, it's also a law of involvement as well. So today in this law of involvement, I'll be giving the your action plan, what as a parent you are supposed to do, right? So the first and the foremost, see, yesterday we discussed so many things. I given you so many insights, I given you so many situation, and through 5 6 situations I made you understand that this is we who are always found to be on fault. So the first action plan is accept a child's mistake with grace. If your child commits any sort of mistakes, maybe if you feel it's small, it's blunder, whatever, try and accept the mistake of your child with full grace, be- being so calm, being so patient, being so lovingly. I want to ask you one question, gentlemen, here, that do we admonish ourselves if we make a mistake? Do we spank ourselves if we make a mistake? No, isn't it? Then why such behavior with our own children? If he or she commits any mistake, why do we spank them? Why do we punish them? Children, for the most part, they lack self-confidence and they are comprehensive about doing something innovative, take recourse to lying for covering their mistakes, blame either circumstances or other persons for their failures. So, whatever children are, if they are not so confident in their life, if they are having low self confidence, then such children will always try and cover their mistakes by blaming the situation, by blaming somebody else. If you don't want to the same happen with you and your children, see, since these are very common characteristics among children, if you were to ask a parent the reason behind of such traits, a parent would blame either television or movies or internet or friend circle or westernization of our culture and a number of, or I would say countless other reasons. This is because we are not confident of being a successful parent. If your child, if your son or your daughter is not confident enough, if he or she is lacking behind for that self confidence, then they will start playing blame game. But if these problems traits in the child were to be seen from the psychological point of view, from the psychological perspective, one would realize that the main reason is that we are not able to accept our child's mistake. The day we expect the child to speak the truth, every parent at this planet, even you also want that none of your children, tell a lie to you. Many a time we are not ready either to speak the truth or listen to the truth. This is also the fact. We don't expect any other person to tell a lie. But most of the time, we don't have guts to speak the truth or to listen to the truth. Let me put you an example, gentlemen. I know most of you would have been working somewhere. Somebody of you would have been beautiful parents as well. I know for the fact. So you would be going for your office also. I know for the fact. Imagine for a moment that you have made a mistake in your office work. Okay. You go to your senior officer or your team leader or your senior manager or your CEO even or to your you know HR as well in order to own up your mistake. I'm just putting one example that supposedly you made a mistake at your office work and you went to your senior manager or your senior management, I would say, in order to own up your mistake. Gentlemen, if you are so calm and quiet, if you are so wise person, then it's beautiful. But let me tell you, there will be only two possible situation, I would say, or there would be two ways of your senior to behave with you once you go to them to own your mistake. The first, if your boss is, uh, you know, stereotype boss, then his statement would be quite opposite to your thinking. He'll say, I had not expected this from you, Ravi. You are an experienced hand over here. You are a well versed guy. You know how much your mistake could cost the company? Do you know how much how much your mistake would cost the organization? Because of this mistake, there would be 6 months delay in your promotion. Now just don't stand here. Go back to work and see that you do not repeat such a mistake ever again, or else you will be discharged from your job, or you will be thrown out from your job. I want to give you an assignment today. You write down your reaction onto this above situation. How will you react, gentlemen? You being so honest. You went to your manager, to your senior management, to own up your mistake, to your officer to own up your mistakes. And in place of understanding you, if their behavior is quite opposite, that I have not expected from you like that. And because of this experience, you don't know how much we are going to cost. And even for your these mistakes, your promotions may be held up for another 6 months. Don't ever dare to commit such blunders in future, else I'll throw out from this office. Now this is the silent fee, right on the task. Now the second one, if your boss is a successful boss, then how he will react? He'll say, Ravi, I appreciate your having honestly admitting your mistake, but mere admission doesn't rectify the error. Tell me, what circumstances led to this mistake? You tell your superior officer. Okay? And do you have any action plan in place that will ensure that such mistakes or mistakes like this do not occur in future? You say, yes, sir. You tell him all. Then his reaction will be good. I'm sure that you will hereafter put in your best possible effort and you will win the management's confidence and leave no stone unturned to get timely promotion. See, see the difference. There is one boss who is just threatening you to kick you out from the office, and at the same time, there is one guy who appreciates your behavior, your honesty of admitting your mistake, and he also asks you what is the rectification of it. Do you have any backup plan if this thing went wrong? And he is also eager to listen to you as well. When you tell him or her that, ma'am or sir, I have this plan, he'll say, good, that's fantastic, and I'm pretty much sure that hereafter you will not commit such mistakes and you will put in your 100%, and that you will be able to win our heart of all management team. And you will leave no stone unturned. And I know for the fact that if you do this, nobody can stop your promotion. Now, gentlemen, I'm once again going to tell you. Now write down your reaction. Two situations. Gentlemen, here in the both situations, your superior has handed down punishment to you. One punishment, you understand, it was a threat, not a punishment. And a punishment at the same time that the promotion would have stuck. The second, appreciation. The only difference between these two situations is the way of involvement, is the perspective of the situation. Which of these two varieties of your boss or your officers would you listen to? No doubt about the second one, is it not? If you expect your officer or if you expect your senior management to behave differently with you, would your child also not expect different behavior from you, gentlemen? Would you also behave in the same fashion when somebody third person behaves with your child? Understand the situation. Although you may be aware of your child's mistake, instead of admonishing your child or getting angry with the child, listen to the child till you are able to understand that what has really went wrong. I hope I am able to make you understand. There are two situations. In one situation, your boss is like anything. In the second situation, your boss is really like anything. You love to salute such people. You love to be very happy and you will feel like lucky one to work under such people. Is it not? That is when Mahatma Gandhi once said that freedom is not worth having it if it doesn't include the freedom to make mistakes. If I am not, if I have not been given the privilege or the freedom to make mistakes, then there is no meaning of freedom, gentlemen. So if you don't want the first sort of people in your life to behave, do you think your child the same thing from you? No, not at all. So in place of just by going through the situation, your son did something wrong, don't simply start beating, don't simply start being very angry upon, rather try and listen to him and to understand the situation, being so calm and quiet. So this is the tip number one. You got to be a beautiful listener. You got to understand the situation of your child. You got to have the patience and power and courage and guts to accept the child's mistakes with grace. This is the action plan number one. Okay. Now coming to action plan number two. Help your child to decide its objectives. There's a person called Khalil Gibran. He has written several books in which he says that we are our children's trustees, not owners. Our children has a separate existence from that of ours. Our children has its own thoughts, its own imagination, and its own ambitions. Listen this very carefully, gentlemen. We are our children trustees, not owners. Our child has a separate existence from that of ours. The child has its own thoughts, its own imagination, and its own ambitions. We are the trustee. You are not the owner. You understand the meaning of trustee, gentlemen? You cannot be the owner. You cannot say that it's mine. God is the owner of your children. You are just a trustee. They have been deposited to you to look after. How do you want to look after? By being so angry? By being so irresponsible? No. Although we are quite aware, you know, we do not miss a single chance to impose our expectations and aspirations on them. Every individual at this planet has his own ambition, his own way of thinking, his own behavior. But being as a parent, something which we do not or have not, I would say, achieved in our life, we want to impose those feelings of ours onto our children. Subjectly, I love dancing and I could do nothing in dance, then what will I be doing? Oh, it was my dream to come and dance in a dance. Okay, no problem, my son will do. But try and realize whether your son has got the same potential or whether he is having keen interest in dancing or not. So this is a wrong expectation of ours, and our wrong expectations impair the child's progress in career developments. It is very natural that parents expect their children to become doctors and engineers and so on. But remember, this is your wish, not your child's wish. Don't impose your expectations onto your children. If I were to talk to you about myself, let me tell you by being very honest. My parents wanted me to be a doctor or a pilot. My parents always wanted me to be a doctor. But because of my personal interest, in the field of training or in the field of teaching, in the field of imparting quality educations on public speaking, on spoken English, on parenting mastery, and on life coaching. So I decided that it's good to be in training. So just after passing my 10th, I started teaching spoken English at my area. And then the journey just after it. So I want to ask you, had I been a doctor, would I have been successful? Maybe I would have been successful, but not satisfied. So if you want to see the real contentment in the heart of your children, you are not supposed to impose your point of view onto anything. You are not supposed to tell your child that you will do this because that may be your wish. That may not be the wish of your child. Which is why we as a parents should attach greater importance to our children's ideas and their ambitions rather than to the inspiration that we have for them. You are just the custodian. You're not the owner of your children. They have their everything different ambitions, inspiration as well. Don't impose your inspiration onto your children. They have their different ideas and different ambition. So let us find out from the child. Okay. So if you are also facing the same problem, or if your son and daughter is confused what to take, and what to study. If this is the situation with you, gentlemen, then let me tell you some tricks. By following this, it is definitely going to help you out. The first, in which field does your child wish to make a career? Discuss this thing after your son and daughter. What kind of work interests the child has, and how eager the child is to make a name in chosen field. Suppose I want to be an actor. What sort of actor? I want to be a doctor. What sort of doctor? Clarity. Are these the child's own ambitions, or is the child under someone else's influence? Because as per my knowledge, gentlemen, what I feel that most of us choose career by going through the situation nearby, which is at all not good. And why the child is interested in a particular field only, try and figure it out. And once you ascertain these all stuffs, these all details, so you should be having five questions with you. First, I am repeating this. In which field does the child, are these child's own ambitions, or is the child under someone else's influence? And why the child is interested in the particular field only? So once you ascertain these all details, we should help our children to decide how to proceed in pursuit of its objectives and in what time frame. Tell them, make a plan, and always bear in mind that we should not burden the child with our unfulfilled dreams and unrealized aspirations. As I said earlier, I wanted to be a doctor or I wanted to be a dancer. I don't want to impose my son that he should go and dance India dance. He did not. And the most important, that is involvement, get involved in the study. Tip number three. People always say this thing, gentlemen, that my daughter does not study at all. She just doesn't study, right? Somebody say that no sooner does my son sits to study, something distracts him every now and then, and he gets up each after 5 minutes. Somebody may say this. When my son studies, his eyes are on the textbook and his mind is on the playground. It may have happened with you as well. Her scores are far less as compared to the amount of time she spends in study. Means the amount of time she spends in study, she doesn't get the result as desired. And the last, that God knows why, but he just does not like to study. पता नहीं भगवान क्यों नहीं पढ़ना चाहता. So many such dialogues related to our children's attitude towards studies come to our mind. It's very common. And these are the five, six types of questions. You may also have some more questions. If you have, you can put me in the comment box. So we adopt several remedial measures such as getting the TV channel disconnected, putting the television to the loft, using different way to get childs down to study. So what I'm saying is that in place of understanding the child's psychology and being involved with him, what we do, that we want to you know cut down the outcome. We don't understand from where the water is coming, rather we are willing to stop the water. Will that be possible for some point of time? Maybe for 1 day, 2 day, 5 day, 1 day, to 1 month, 3 months, maybe 1 year, you will be able to easily control. But after that, what will happen? It will be a blast into it. So do we get any permanent solution to the problem? Yes, there is the solution. And the solution is pretty simple. Stay tuned to your child's feeling, beliefs, and their behavior. Stay tuned to your child's feelings, beliefs, and his or her behavior. Remember, the time you taught your child how to say mummy, or how to clap its little hand, or how to fold its teeny hands in prayer, or do like this, and how to walk, and how to ride the bicycle, and how to cook, and so on. You have taught. Think, and you will realize that you were engrossed in these activities. We pronounced mummy, we clapped our hand, and so on. When something you want to bring about a change in its behavior of your child, you got to keep yourself involved. How have you taught him or her saying mommy? How have you taught them to do like this during puja? How to clap, how to fold hands, how to walk, how to stand, how to ride bicycle, how to cook. You have all taught him by being involved. To make him speak mummy, you were also speaking many a times mummy. You were also clapping, and then he was copying you. So, gentlemen, we tip number four, that we inspire the child by our actions only. So, if our father had bought us a bicycle and while reading a newspaper told us how to pedal, how to apply brakes, and so on, would we ever have been able to learn how to bicycle? Tell me. Can you learn, gentlemen? Here I am going to ask you one question. Can you learn riding bicycle by watching videos on YouTube? Can you learn swimming without getting into the water by listening to somebody that you go get inside, do like this, and then it's not possible. You have to be involved. How does a mother teach her, grown up daughter how to cook? By being completely involved in teaching or merely giving instructions. Tell me. Then beta you cut and then, no, it is taught. Cut like this, put inside and then fry like this and then put water and salt and these all stuffs. So it is absolutely important for parents to stay involved in every activity during the child's development. And if we don't do that, then there is no meaning of ours to be a successful parents. But for some unknown reason, when it comes to study, we are not able to appreciate such a simple thing. Why is it? Why so little? Most of the time, we are busy watching television or chatting or reading newspaper or in our domestic or professional tasks and advise the child to study. Will he study? Children do not do what we tell them to do. They only emulate our behavior. And here is an episode from Gandhi's life. Let me share with you. Once upon a time, a mother came to Gandhiji with her child in tow, and the child was inordinately fond of eating jaggery. So, the mother told Gandhiji that she has tried her best, but the child kept eating lots of jaggery. She requested Gandhiji to persuade the child not to eat jaggery. Gandhiji asked her to come back after a week. Gandhi said, okay, I'll make it clear, come after. A week later, when the mother and child came to means Gandhiji, Gandhiji told the child, my dear child, you should not eat more than a reasonable amount of jaggery. Mother asked Gandhiji, for this bit of advice, why did you make us wait for a period of 1 week? Gandhiji said, a week ago, I too was inordinately fond of jaggery. Before I could give counsel to the child, I had to myself give up the habit of eating too much jaggery. It means our behavior must always conform to the behavior that we expect from our children. Hereafter, we parents must, understand and be alongside with our children. I hope it's quite clear to you. Every day after dinner, we must spend minimum 1 hour each day with all our family members. Make it a habit. And during this hour, all must sit together and read. Every single person of your family. The children must read from their textbooks, and we should read books relating to profession, or books relating to personality development, or life coaching, or like parenting mastery. Kindly remember that nobody is to read newspaper, magazines. When your students are when you are reading all together with the whole family, remember nobody should read newspaper magazines. Read something valuable, because our child learns more from our behavior than from our concept. If you suggest him to do something, they'll not follow. If you do that thing, they'll follow. The child learns to read when he sees us reading every single day. When you read alongside, the child also likes to read it. If you read good books, story books, he'll also someday or other he will also get the habit of reading that book. When you read with concentration, keep being calm, quiet, poised, and then your child also learns to remain focused while reading. In addition, the child is inspired to read during its spare time instead of loitering here and there and gossiping away. If you make this habit of reading after them, being so calm and quiet, they'll follow the same. Any parents taking part in any workshop, if you go through such good possible books, you will understand this and you will accept the fact. And you will start sitting every single evening with your children and you will read. You read any damn thing for 1 hour, no problem. But don't read something like magazine or newspaper. All these parents have experienced positive change in themselves and in their children as well when they have followed these all steps. The parents and if you do like the gentleman, the parents and children conclusion. Children's score and at their examination will improve dramatically. The children will become not just active but quite effective. So, by doing this, gentleman, every possible house will become happier. And if you also dream to have the same house, gentleman, you got to be involved. You will also be having the similar transformation. Let me ask you one question and one more situation with you today. One day every week for our child. Okay, the first. On Monday, child asked, Dad, will you play cricket with me? Father, oh dear, I have a lot of job. I have a lot of work to do. Sorry, I cannot. Tuesday, he asks, Mom, could we go to the park today? No, beta, not today, some other day. Monday went, Tuesday. Now comes Wednesday. Dad, please teach me how to do this sum. Some parents are in the habit of saying this. What are tuitions for? And you are going for tuitions. Now I am paying for that. Why don't you ask your such questions to your tutor? Don't bother me. Let me do my job. Thursday. Dad, please. When will you be free? When will you be playing with me cricket? Father. Okay. On Sunday na pakka. Possibly on Sunday. Then it comes Friday. Why don't we go for a movie, Mama? The mother says. Here is the money for the movie. Treat your lot of job to do. Now comes Saturday. Or the child finishes all the homework so that Sunday can be spent playing with mom and dad. Right? Then Sunday comes. As soon as Sunday comes, the child wakes up early in the morning, being so energized, he rushes to the meet parents. The mother is busy with household job. The father is busy on mobile phone. Child quickly gets ready and then asks the father if he could. As soon as he goes to father and he asks this question, Papa, will you go to play cricket with me as you promised on Wednesday? Father said, Son, I am tired. Besides this evening, we have to go to hospital as well to look, Ramesh something. So I'll not be able to go with you. Child says, Mom, why don't you finish up your job early so that we can play? See, See the condition. Mother says, you have your examination coming up here. 2 days just from now, go to your room and study. You are quite mad after you are not concentrating on your study. You're always busy, you always love to play just cricket. Why don't you have time for your children, gentlemen? Now here's the question. When you have time for keeping in touch with your uncle, you are going so and so marriage and so hospitalizations and so on. Why don't you have time for building your children's life? Which situation in which you are in today, who are going to help you out in your long run journey? You have enough jobs to do, you have so many people to look after, but there is one person at your house who is quite dear and near to your heart, and you are unable to spend time for him. So it's my request to each one of you. I am folding my hand, and it's my request to each one of you that if you are not ready to allocate time for your children, then do not plan to have children. If any unmarried person who is listening to me, then I am once again requesting you that if you are not ready to spend time or allocate your time from your children to your children, don't you ever dare to plan a children. Okay? When planning your children, parents have so far been planning only about money. That I'll have this many money, then I'll manage this. Sorry. It is most important to plan for time as well. That a parent must allocate for a child in order that the child has a bright future. Otherwise, in our old days, when we will, be depending on our children, you will have to pay for this, gentleman. You will have to pay for your debts. You will have money, but you will not. Your son and daughter will have money, but they will not have time for you. So there was a guy. His name was Dr. Leach Brookman. Okay, at Harvard Business School, he has done a lot of research in this direction, and finally he find three things. First, that he interviewed so many children, 16% of the children who did not get parental love and affection concentration, they all contracted serious ailment when they were in their mid 30s. It's between 30 to 40, 16% of them were having serious illness. Now rest 82% of those who did not get fatherly love during the childhood. That was parental love, means both husband and wife. 82% who were not having fatherly love during the childhood suffered from illness in long run, means after 40, 50, 60, they got some illness. Though just 2% children who were on intimate terms with their parents, they were very happy, never knew fear and disappointment in their lives. They were brimming with self confidence. The influence was parental love and affection protect children from illness and make them healthy, wealthy, and wise. So you can understand the importance of parents. In one way, you are mad after going to see somebody in hospital, and wherein you are planning to get your own son and daughter admitted in hospital, gentlemen. Don't do that. If at all, and those who believe that they can make up for not spending time with their children by giving toys and chocolates to their children, they are bloody utter fools. Feel that I'll not give time to my son and daughter, rather I'll give them my valuable time. In place of time, I'll give them chocolates, I'll give them toys, I'll give them money, I'll give them every possible amenities. Sorry, you are fools. If at all you are so busy, gentlemen, try and invest at least one day in a week with your children, because our children are priceless gift to God. But if their upbringing is par excellence, then the children become our return gift to God. That's all for the day. Thank you so very much for being with me all together. Thank you. Bye. See you.